You clicked on this video either because you are a subscriber and you're just like around, you're ready and curious, or you're a total rando and you're like, hi, who is this chick? And what do I need for my home birth? Welcome. My name is Jamie Wolfer. This is my lifestyle channel over here on our tiny little corner of the internet. And I'm getting ready for my second home birth. This is baby number 4 for us. But the first round was twins. So like third pregnancy, baby number 4. Math is fun. And because this is my second time doing it, I feel like a teensy bit more equipped to talk about it. And a couple of y'all have been asking, at least the people who have been around, not the new people. Welcome anyways. What I'm doing to get ready for a home birth. What does it look like? What's the list of supplies? It sounds very woo-woo, right? And I feel like I've watched a couple of home birthers here on YouTube and they're all so zen and they're all so calm. And I have been referred to as a person with an occasional frenetic energy from time to time. And I'm like, where are the people that like use vocal inflection and talk about home birth? Where are they at? So not that you have to have vocal inflection. But I thought I'd give my own little take on what I'm doing to get the equipment ready, what I'm doing for my space, and what I'm doing for my body and my mind to get me ready for this huge, huge deal that's going on in our lives. We are introducing a new person into this world. That's crazy and so exciting. So without further ado, let's just jump right on into it. First things first, I have here a giant box of things for my midwife. Common misconceptions about birthing at home with a midwife is that it's not a very medical experience. Our first midwife, when we were in California, came with like, it looked like she was moving in. She came with so much medical equipment, it was unreal. And that's usually the case for most midwives that you're dealing with. They have an obscene amount of medical equipment that they come with. If you're interested in it, talk with a midwife. I mean, she had a defibrillator, she had Pitocin, she had other different kinds of medicines on hand. She had everything. And I haven't seen the kit for this midwife here, but I think it's pretty safe to assume that she will also have all of the necessary medical equipment. So it's not all essential oils and really vibey 500 hertz music, right? There is some medical things involved as well. So for those who are not like full crunchy or you're not quite sure what this looks like, just know they come with a ton of stuff. They also recommend that you order some sort of birth kit. So these are supplies that they will likely use during your birthing process that they like to have on hand available at your house that most likely will not be reusable. And I'm opening this for the first time. I actually haven't even opened it yet. So depending on your midwife, they might ask you to place an order through a company or give you a list of items. First midwife gave me a list of items. This midwife gave me a company where they have a pre-done birthing kit specific for this midwifery program. It has, let's see, this was about, yes, with shipping, this was $120. Oh, how cute. They have a little labor prayer. Okay, so in this box, we have surgical sponges. My guess is that would be probably for if there's any tearing involved. Oh, also, by the way, if birth talk freaks you out, then you probably shouldn't be, you shouldn't be watching this. But this would be, I'm assuming, for tearing. Let's see, latex gloves, probably already in the designated size for my midwife. And here we've got a lubricant, we've got a lancet, umbilical cord clamp, a couple of lancets. What else am I missing? And a cord clamp. Is this, oh, and straws. Hopefully to be used for very different things. Oh, okay. And a scalpel. Although my midwife did say, she's like, you probably don't need the scalpel. And I was like, cool, good. Oh, okay. I can't see. My assumption would be the scalpel would be for some sort of episiotomy, which I am absolutely not doing. No ma'am. And that's the cool part about birthing with a midwife is you are so empowered to just like do what your body needs to do and you're just backed by a medical professional. Instead of going through a hospital setting where you're kind of like being guided through your birth or directed through your birth, you just get to let your body do its own thing. So we have these on hand in case of emergency, but my guess is we're not gonna be using a lot of this. The straws got me. All right, what is this? This is like the weirdest unboxing I've ever done. Oh, yay! Sitz bath. So, if you've not given birth before, obviously things are gonna be a little sore down there. Things are gonna be a little tender. You pour some of this into a hot bath and you can sit in it, and these are healing herbs that will help you to really heal down there. This I will probably also include in my postpartum video as like a little 2-for-1 special. get to double dip on this bad boy. And in here we've got comfrey, lavender, shepherd's purse, uva ursi, plantain, red raspberry, yarrow, and sea salt. And you can have the baby in the bath when you use this as well. And the cool part about going through in his hands is that I had the option of removing things if I wanted to. So there was like one tincture in here, yeah, it's right here, that I was considering ordering off of Amazon or directly from the supplier. But it's cheaper through them, so I ended up getting this. And this is from Wish Garden Herbal Remedies. This tincture is called After Ease. It's relaxing herbs to ease afterbirth discomforts. So main ingredients in this one is black haw bark, yarrow, motherwort, and cramp bark. In a vegetable glycerin, some spring water, and some organic alcohol, which again I will be using in the postpartum video as well. And then we've got betadine and hydrogen peroxide as well. Ultrasound gel. What are these? Plastic back sheet. I think that's what these are. Oh, cool. Instant perineum cold packs, which is fantastic. That's upside down. I also have a reusable version of these, which sounds wrong, but trust me, for the afterwards, so right. So this is to help soothe it down there, because obviously when you're pushing a kid out, it's not gonna feel great afterwards. I'm not gonna lie to you. So having like a specific cooling pack instead of trying to fold one to fit down there, game changer. A blood typing kit. I'm assuming we'll use this for baby when she's here. A Perry bottle came with this one, although I did also order the Frida brand one, which I'm probably gonna use a heck of a lot more, and I'll show you that in the postpartum video. But I wanted to keep the kit kind of as is. A syringe for clearing out any mucus in the nose and in the mouth, although we are doing a water birth, which I'll show you the stuff for that in just a second. So most of the time you actually don't need to clear out the baby's mouth and nose when you are doing water birth, but it's always good to have this on hand. A big old trash bag, because birth is not clean. It's just not. And then a ton, and I do mean 25, a ton of these Chucks pads. So these are, have you ever had a puppy? Have you ever potty trained a puppy? That's what these are. They're puppy pads. But for your body. So we want to think through practical things of like just general mess. I will say I've seen a couple of other home birth videos and they've got a lot of like tarps and plastic sheets and stuff. I won't be doing that. I'm actually going to be giving birth in this space. We'll probably put a tarp down underneath the pool, but I'm not going to be covering everything in plastic because I don't want this to feel like an episode of Dexter, you know? And oftentimes if a mom is moving around, you can't plastic up the whole space. One, I don't want to do that. That sounds awful. Two, that's really impractical if you're not birthing in a condensed space, which I am here, but it's like where our couch is. So instead, what usually happens is that a midwife will come over with a Chucks pad if you are not in the water to place that underneath you to kind of help to take care of any extra stuff that comes out with baby, which is very normal, but it's better than tarping the entire space. And knowing me, I'll kind of probably want to have this in a cute container, but we'll keep it in the box for now. I just like it when things are displayed nicely. Now let's talk about the actual birthing pool itself. I have not used this pool before. I gave, in my last home birth at our last house, the tub was big enough. It was accidentally unassisted. I didn't realize how quickly my labor was progressing, so our midwife actually didn't even make it in time. So I didn't have a birth pool. I just gave birth in my tub. This time around, we are using the Passage pool. We should probably set this up and test it out. It's a brand new pool, has not been used yet. My husband will be filling this up with our air compressor, which is conveniently right there in our garage. So it'll be just firm enough for me to be able to lean against the sides of it. I do prefer a water birth. In fact, there was another home birth video that I was watching where she was talking about supplies and she's like, I just prefer for my body to be underwater because I don't want to be exposed like that. And I was like, that's it. That's 100% correct. I want to be underwater. One, because that's where I've been practicing all of my hypnobirthing, which we'll get into when we're talking about preparing body and mind. And two, because I feel less exposed. If I'm in the water, not only does it help with pain relief, I just don't feel like my entire lower half is on display, which is great because that makes me uncomfortable. So I love the idea of a water birth for so many different reasons. We will be using this pool specifically, and then how to get the water to the tub. RV hoses. Which, yeah, feels a little goofy, but we will be getting water from our kitchen all the way into this space. So my husband actually ended up attaching 2 of them. We've already pre-tested the length on these to make sure that we can get the water here. We got one hose from the midwife, And then we had one hose already ourselves. I don't know why, because we don't have an RV, but we just happen to have one. We will also need to be changing out our kitchen faucet because none of the adapters right here will actually fit with the kind of faucet that we have. So unless he puts a splitter on it, or unless we run it from a bathroom, which are all at the back end of the house, that's not happening. So we are probably going to get a very cheap, easily interchangeable faucet, or he could put a splitter underneath the sink. All of that is above my pay grade. That is not, I don't know what I'm talking about. My husband will be helping me take care of those. But you want to attach it to a kitchen sink or a bathroom sink so then you can control the temperature. Another thing that we're doing to get our space ready is we're actually increasing our water heater temperature a couple of degrees now. So I'm 37.5 weeks-ish. No, 38. So I'm about 38.5 weeks. So that way we will get guaranteed warm water and we won't run out when we're filling up the birth pool, which will be very important because I want to give birth in cold water, and I'm sure my baby doesn't want to be born into cold water either. So something to keep in mind, it has to be coming from a temperature controlled source. We will also be putting on an RV water filter, which will get rid of some of the chemicals that come with regular tap water. One of these days we're gonna get a whole house filter. Like, we are Berkey people and we have filters on our showers. But we do not have a whole house filter yet. So we will be filtering the water, the heated water, as it comes into the pool. See, are there any equipment pieces I'm missing? Yes, there is one thing that I ordered that I'm praying gets here in time, and that's from Little Helpers. I got the Lifesaver Mat, the extra large size. I mean, this thing is massive. So it's really absorbent, it has a charcoal lining, and what I plan on doing is I want to use that both for the birth space. Well, I shouldn't say both for, either or both, because it is washable and reusable. For the birth space and or for my bed, because afterwards, obviously, there's gonna be some bleeding. And so I wanna make sure that all of our sheets and everything are protected. Now, because I'm not planning on birthing in our bedroom, because it's super tiny, I'm less worried about having protective layer on the mattress, laying anything down, having anything on the floor around there. But I will likely be putting on older sheets, using Lifesaver Mat, and using some of these Chuck pads as a just in case as I'm going through the postpartum journey to keep our bed protected. But I'm not birthing in the bedroom space, so we're not going too crazy over there. So those are all the practical equipment kind of things that I have ready on hand here, along with towels, paper towels, trash bags, anything like that. Most of what we have here should be sufficient. Why? Because the midwife is not gonna leave any of that to chance, and she's gonna make sure she's got everything she needs. So between these kits and what my midwife and her assistant are bringing, we should be completely covered for needs as far as the birth is concerned. So that's covering the technical stuff, right? But as far as what I need to feel ready to give birth, I've gotta prep my space, I've gotta prep my body, and I've gotta prep my mind. And I actually was talking to the midwife about this recently, and I was like, yeah, so when are you coming for a home visit? Because they usually do that. She's like, oh, here, this is, well, home visit's actually tomorrow when I'm filming this. And I'm like, okay, because I just want to know when, like, to have my space cleaned. She goes, oh, you don't need to do that. And I went, yes, I do. For me, for my sanity, I need to have a space that I feel good in. So I actually treated myself to Beeswax Candles, which sounds like such a silly thing to treat yourself to. But I've got brass candlesticks and beautiful beeswax candles that I can light and put all around this space. I've also invested in quite a few of the smaller lamps with incandescent bulbs, even though you can't really find them a lot anymore, or warm LED lights. So I can really enjoy a dark, quiet space with some brand new candles that I can like just treat myself. Because I don't know about you, but I am a candle hoarder. Like, I don't want to burn them. I don't want them to go away. So I bought birth candles. And I bought lamps to put in here. One, so we could just enjoy the space, and two, so when I am laboring in here, if it is nighttime, it could just feel so relaxed. For me, I like it dark. I want it quiet, I want to get into my zone, and I want to facilitate a space that feels like that. It's a very Nancy Meyer's kitchen type vibe for my entire house. Like, if you come over at night, there are tiny lamps around the entire space, everywhere in our whole home, in our bathrooms, in our bedrooms, and hallways, and kitchens, everywhere. So I wanted my birth space to feel the same. And I also really want to make sure that it felt clean every night before I go to bed. And this might be next level, okay? It might be. Maybe this is just me, but maybe I'm also speaking to you. I go, if I went to labor tonight, is this what I would want my house to look like? And if the answer is no, and I have the energy to deal with it, I go deal with it right then. So I've been trying really hard to stay on top of the pickup, stay on top of the cleanup for my own sanity. My sweet midwife was like, you don't need to do that for us. And I went, I'm not. I'm doing it for me, because I do not want to be walking around thinking about a dusty table with my midwife here, right? I'm just like, I don't want to do that. I want to be in the zone, I want to focus, and I just want to enjoy this space. That may even mean, actually, I'm looking at the wall over here, I may even go as far as putting artwork on the walls so this space feels how I want it to feel. That's important to me. I want to enjoy the space that I'm giving birth in. Now, as far as body and mind are concerned, if y'all are planning any kind of birth, home birth, hospital birth, I don't care where birth, and you don't have a ball, a yoga ball, yeah, you might want to get one of those. I didn't with the twins, and I had a C-section with them. I went the full medical route with that, and just realized that I didn't want to do that again. Not for me. Do not want to sign up for that. The recovery from the C-section was awful. Really and truly for me, it really was. So I didn't have a yoga ball with them, but I did with my son, and I do with this one, and I can tell you that there are days at the end of the day where I just ache. So to be able to sit on the ball and find relief for my hips, and I can just kind of rotate them slowly. A lot of people will use it as like a prepping your hips for birth. I'm sure that happens. I use it for pain relief. I use it to help me just feel comfortable, because for some people in late pregnancy, your hips hurt, your feet hurt, your back hurts. So to have the ball to like provide physical relief leading up to it, and ideally, hopefully training my hips to be ready for birth as well. And in addition to that, provide relief for my spine, for my hips, for my whole lower body, has been a game changer. In fact, I will intentionally seek out the ball to sit on to be more comfortable a lot of times, especially at the end of the day these days. Other things that I'm doing to prepare my body would be a couple of supplements. I don't normally let the crunchy out too much here on this channel, but like, your girl loves a good natural supplement, for sure. So there are, how many things I'm taking? There are 3 things specifically that I'm taking that are birth related. I take a whole lot of other supplements and things like that, but these 3 are especially ideal for the later end part of your pregnancy, and that is red raspberry leaf tea, evening primrose oil, and dates. Now, from what I understand, all of them help with the cervix, what they like to call ripening of the cervix, which is a really unfortunate use of the word ripening. And I'm sorry if any of you were interested in eating some fruit after this. Just put you in a space where you're probably not going to want to. But basically, towards the end, your cervix will get thinner, softer, and start opening up. I should stop doing hand motions. And all 3 of these can help with those. Also cool is the effect that they have in other ways as well, such as strengthening your uterus, getting it prepared for this, helping it to tone down afterwards. And dates, actually, I just found out recently, can help with postpartum bleeding as well. I hate dates. I hate them so much. The worst, and I wish I didn't have to take them. It's like a giant, really sad raisin, and I don't like raisins. So everyone's like, just put them in a smoothie. I still don't like them, okay? But they're good for the baby, they're good for my body, and they will help with postpartum as well. Now, as far as getting my mind ready, if you haven't picked up by this or by the frenetic energy comment earlier, I am not a naturally zen person. I'm just not, okay? I can, of course, sit down and have a calm, cool, collected conversation, but I'm usually someone who's pretty much on the go. I like to be doing things. If you're into the Enneagram, I'm a 3, okay? So I am always doing something. So to get my mind to a space where I can get ready to give birth without any sort of pain medication, I also don't have a high pain tolerance. So to be able to get to a place where like, I know I can successfully do this is something that takes work for me. It's not something that I just naturally fell into. I feel like a lot of people in the home birth space, or when you're watching a lot of these videos, these moms are just so at peace. And I'm like, I say 3 times the amount of words per minute, just like as a resting standard for who I am as a person. So how am I supposed to get my body and my mind into a space where I can have a calm and cool and restful and peaceful birth? And for me, the biggest tool in that has been hypnobirthing. And that's been practicing hypnobirthing for months. I did this with my son. I'm doing it with this baby as well. And it sounds super woo-woo, okay? I hear it, I know. What I find really radical is, especially if you can find the right teacher, is you learn the science behind birth. You learn what your body is doing, right? And then you learn how to breathe through it. So now most nights I will actually turn on my Christian Hypnobirthing app, which is like $5 a month. It's super, super cheap, and practice deep breathing. It sounds wild, but your jaw and your body is a direct reflection of what's going on down there. So if you are tight and you are clenched and you're holding your jaw and you're scared and the lights are bright and you don't feel like you can get into this calm, cool, collected space of just breathing through these contractions, that's literally going to be your lower half as well. You will have that tension. So to force myself to practice being chill has been single-handedly one of the best things that I can do to have a natural, easy labor. If you are a believer, I highly recommend Christian Hypnobirthing. If you are not, regular hypnobirthing is pretty chill too. And I know a lot of moms will like put together worship music or things like that. I am not doing that. I love Jesus, all right? Love him a whole lot. I don't want my mind to feel like it has to be focused on making this a spiritual experience. Because I will look into, Lord, what are you trying to say to me through these words, through these lyrics? I need no words to be sung in these musics. So for me, that means the woo-woo soundtrack. That means listening to tonal music with soft ocean waves, which is so not normally me, but I know if I can put on that kind of music and breathe deeply, I can check out. In fact, in my last birth, I was able to fall asleep between contractions. I'm not gonna get too woo-woo on you. Obviously, we've got a whole list of practical application things. I will list as many things as I can in the description box below. But at the end of the day, what matters more to me is where my body is at and where my mind is at, because the baby's gonna come out. My first hypnobirthing instructor said, if I dropped you off on an island, the baby will come out. And you guys, there's no shame in birth. Whether you are planning a hospital birth or planning a home birth, or if you've had a C-section in the past, or there was need for medical intervention, there is no shame in birth. You're having a baby. And that's epic. And that's cool. And that deserves to be celebrated regardless of how the baby gets here. But if you do choose to have a home birth and you do choose to take this path, might I please encourage you to grab the medical equipment, of course, follow the guidelines of your midwife, but get your heart ready, get your space ready, and get your mind ready for one of the coolest experiences. I literally told somebody, I've told multiple people after I had my son, I'm like, I can't wait to do that again. I can't wait to do that again. It is so empowering, it's so radical, and it doesn't have to be scary, and it doesn't have to be overwhelming, and you can totally, totally do this. I am not Zen. I am frenetic. I do not have a high pain tolerance. And I am telling you that this is totally possible, and you too can come out on the other side and be like, you know what? That was kind of badass. Because guess what? It is. So that's what we have for this week's video, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. I will be following up on my postpartum care kit to show you what I will be throwing in that one. If nothing else, I hope maybe you just leave this video feeling encouraged and excited to tackle this next phase of your life, because it's awesome and it's incredible and it doesn't have to be scary, and your body was literally made to do this, and so was mine. So I hope you join me on this journey, not on my journey, but you know, like I said, not Zen. And until next week, bye guys.